We just recently celebrated the turning of the calendar once again. It's 2026, the new year has arrived, and the new year always feels to me like turning the page and starting fresh. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and about some of the things that I'm looking forward to in 2026. But before we do that, if this is the first time we've met, hi, I'm Natalie. I'm a Christian, I'm a wife, I'm a mom to two. I'm a California girl that now lives in Missouri, where my husband works as a minister, and I love to share little bits of our lives online, and I like to help women root their hearts, their homes, and their habits in Christ so that they can find peace and fulfillment on the path to heaven. And before we get any further, I have a confession to make to you. I have wanted to use my creativity to branch out into YouTube or into a podcast for several years now. And I've started multiple times and stopped multiple times because every time I get going, I get caught up in the need to make everything perfect before I can officially throw something out there in the world. And I do fear what people will think if things don't look polished and perfect. And this is the year that I'm throwing that out the window because I've just accepted if I wait until everything is perfect to try something new, then I am going to wait forever and it's never going to happen. So this is going to be a very imperfect attempt to share what our life looks like here on YouTube. I have a toddler with a babysitter for an hour. I have a 2-month-old asleep on my chest. I am using my phone voice recordings to communicate this to you instead of sitting in front of a professional microphone with a nice soundproof room. So that's how we're getting this done, and I'm excited about it because it's been something I've wanted to try for a while, and I'm finally feeling the permission to do it without trying to control every aspect or show up perfectly. So you'll have to let me know in the comments if this is something you enjoy, if you would like to see more imperfect iPhone filmed and recorded videos as the year continues. So I love the new year. I feel very reflective this time of year. I'm a very reflective person, I think, and I love thinking about all the blessings or the trials or the learning experiences that came over the last year, and then thinking about what I hope and pray happens over the next 365 days. I really love to think about every year as another chapter, its own individual chapter that the Lord leads us through as He's writing our own personal stories. And it's just so refreshing to me when the new year hits to be able to say, okay, that chapter is closed. Even if my life season doesn't really change, or the stage I'm in doesn't change, there's just something psychologically refreshing to me about saying, okay, that chapter is closed. I'm starting a new one. It's filled with all sorts of new potential, new opportunities to receive blessings from God, new opportunities to turn my learning experiences over to Him and let Him lead those. And so I just love the new year and all of that anticipation that it brings. Our immediate family also loves the new year as well, because my husband and I were married on New Year's Eve several years ago, and so every January 1st for us is like day one of the next year we spend together. It's very exciting, and I just feel so sentimental and reflective over all the things that God has done for us in the last year. I love how every calendar year is also another full year of marriage for us, and so I just love thinking about everything the Lord did for us in the last year and anticipating what's coming next. My husband and I have been reflecting together lately on our personal hopes and prayers for 2026. Like I mentioned, he's a minister for the local church that we worship at here in Missouri. So a lot of the reflection we have together centers on our church family and how we can make a better impact there, or how we can be more service-minded as we're worshiping with them and fellowshipping with them. We're really, really excited for our church family this year because we are expanding our building. We're building onto the property that we own, and we're getting brand new facilities, bathrooms, and a very nice fellowship hall where we'll be able to do more fellowshipping, whether it's through meals or games, having the space to be a family and have a place to come together that's clean and accessible for all ages. It's, I think, going to really encourage growth and closeness within the people that we worship with. And so we're really, really excited about that. We also take some time, my husband and I, just to think about our own family, our immediate family, and the rhythms that we're currently in, the lifestyle that we currently have. And we think about what we want the next year to look like as a family unit. That's something that's really been on my mind this year in a different way than normal because it's our first January as a family of 4. So we had a little daughter right at the end of the last year. She's just about 2 months old now. She fits right in with us. Our little toddler boy, he absolutely adores her. And so it's been a wonderful experience to see what it's like being a family of 4, but it's also, we're still riding the learning curve and adjusting to that. And so in many ways, starting this year feels very different than ever before, and we're just trying to figure out what is life going to look like with these 2 littles. Me specifically, like I'm trying to figure out what is it like to, for my husband to go and work and provide for us all day, and for me to be outnumbered by these little people at home, and just figuring out how to balance that and navigate that. It can lead to anxieties about finding the right flow or finding a good daily routine if I let it. But I just keep reminding myself that we're growing and learning how to navigate this together as a unit, and it's all going to be fine. She's going to be so grown and so different so fast, and so I don't want anxieties to override the enjoyment that this season brings. We have a lot of extended family exciting things as well this year that I'm really looking forward to. So we have a family vacation in the spring, time back in both my and my husband's home states where we grew up. We have weddings in our extended families, and we're just really excited to be able to enjoy some little bits of earth as God allows us to, and enjoy some family time together, and look forward to new family members and new experiences together, and just all the fun things that brings. I also have very big hopes and goals and dreams of what we can do to improve our home this year. I have big dreams and limited time, and so right now I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the priority? What do I want to focus on first? What are easier, smaller tasks I could tackle? Or I'm thinking about, like, what ideas or tasks would be the most beneficial for our family, like whether it's something that will help us function better in the home, or just something we'll enjoy. So anyways, I'm sorting through all those plans. I'll share that more as I get ideas sorted in my head. But anyways, those are some of the things that we're looking forward to as the year continues. But right now, before any of those projects or those trips or those family celebrations happen, I'm really enjoying the time to just sit down and slow down and be cozied up and home during the cold months, and just turn inward and reflect on who I am right now, who I would like to be. I'm a very goal-oriented person and a very introspective person, and so I just like to take inventory of several areas of my life and think, what is working well, what isn't, what could I improve, where do I need to grow? And I've heard people say that, there's nothing magical about the new year. There's nothing magical about January 1 on the calendar. Like, you can do this any time of year. And yes, that's absolutely true. But also, there's just something about the beginning of the year that I think causes us, maybe it's just everyone talking about it, right? Everyone talking about the calendar changing causes us all to have this, like, mental trigger to think about goals, right? Or resolutions, as some people say. And I like to really lean into that reflective period especially because it just really, that time of year really matches, at least for us, with the weather, right? Summers can be so busy that sometimes we're just like trying to white knuckle hold on and do everything we need to do and go all the places we need to go. But winter isn't like that. Winter is actually a time when the weather for most of us, or depending on where you live, the weather forces us to slow down. And so it, to me, is like the Lord provides this opportunity in the winter to have the time and the flexibility in our schedules to turn inward and to think about what sort of goals we should be setting or what sort of growth we need to be pursuing. If you're not a goal-oriented person, that's fine. But all of us, I'm sure, would agree we are hoping to continue growing, whether it's spiritually or mentally, on our way to heaven, right? We don't want to stay in the same place forever. We want to continue learning and being more Christ-like every year that passes as we're waiting to receive the eternal promise. And so this time of year, I'm really focused on that. I like to think about my spiritual life and my marriage and our little family and our house and our church community, all these things that I've already mentioned, to name a few. These areas that I also need to get quiet on and reflect myself, not just with my husband, but myself, and think about how I can improve and grow in these areas. So if you are a person that actually struggles with the cold weather or with seasonal depression, or you're discouraged when your social calendar isn't as full or when you can't get outside, I encourage you to consider shifting your mindset and look at this opportunity as a blessing from the Lord, so that you can get quiet and reflect on how you can grow as well this year on your way to heaven. So there's time to reflect and just think about, what did you enjoy last year? What were some of the best parts of last year? What were some of the hardest parts? How did you grow last year? Or what areas do you realize you need to grow in over the next 365 days? What are you hopeful will happen this year? What do you need to be praying about to the Lord? And one thing that I am really, really challenging myself with is this question: how can I enjoy the season I'm in right now, even if it feels unideal? So I, of course, with this new little daughter, I'm trying to soak in every minute with her, because it goes by so fast and they grow so quickly. But at the same time, there are certainly hard parts of having a newborn, especially with a 2-year-old now. But I want to make sure that even the moments that feel unideal, like the sleepless nights or the constant crying, I don't want those moments to override appreciating everything I have right now and enjoying this sweet newborn season. And so I consider you to ask yourself the same question, because regardless of what stage of life you're in, we all experience things in our days, in our weeks, even things that last for a long time, that feel unideal or that we don't wish for. And so if you're struggling right now with feeling like the unideal is outweighing the good parts of your life, I encourage you to ask yourself, how can I enjoy the season I'm in right now, even if it feels unideal? My hope is that each one of us this year focuses on how we can make the most of every single page in our 365-page chapter. Please take a moment in the comments if you would, and let me know if you liked this video, if you would like to see more as the year progresses. If you would like to have more personal communication, I send out a newsletter via email to other Christian women who are wanting to root their hearts, homes, and habits in Christ. You can join it by visiting the link in the description box. I would love to see you there.